Hey, bestie.
Welcome to Spill the Tea, Not the Wine, the podcast where we sip, spill, and say what's on our mind.
I'm Sarah, a fiery redhead chef and former Marine with a knack for stirring the pot, literally and figuratively.
And I'm Sena, keeping life stylish, organized, and always ready for a good conversation.
We're besties serving up hot takes on celebrity news, pop culture, relationships, and life's crazy moments.
So grab your glass
and let's spill the tea.
Hey, bestie, what you drinking?
Hey, bestie. I decided to try something different, a wine from Argentina. And let me tell you, the Barda Pinot Noir does not disappoint. This isn't just any Pinot from Patagonia, bringing you a bright red fruit, subtle earthiness, and a velvety finish. Think ripe cherries and strawberries and a hint of spice, balanced and easy to drink.
I love that. I love Argentinian wines. So I'm drinking a 2019 Zeno Mavro, spelled with an X. Yes. It's a delicious Greek red wine. And I already know I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this, but it's Kyriani brand from Nausa, Greece. You can actually find this wine in the Aegean restaurants around here in Destin. So that's how I found out about this one. This specific bottle has notes of raspberry, plum, star anise, allspice, and a hint of tobacco even.
Ooh.
It also has high acidity. It's really high in acidity and tannin. And it's got pretty good body to it too, but very, very low sweetness. It's actually a really similar wine to the Nebbiolo I had last week from Italy, but this is like the Greek version.
Sounds really good. My type of
It's
wine.
amazing. I recommend. Okay, so around 100 Thai women were lured to the country of Georgia by Chinese nationals using a social media advertisement, and they made false promises in the advertisement they would get paid 25,000 baht, which is about $800 a month, to be surrogate mothers, and that they were just going to go live with the families. But when they responded to the ad, they agreed to be transported to Georgia via Dubai and Armenia. And what they actually ended up arriving to was a human egg farm that relied on trafficked women. They stripped them of their passports, separated them from their friends and families, never allowed them to have any outside contact. And then they were told that they would be arrested if they tried to return to Thailand. Month after month, these women were forcibly pumped with hormones to stimulate their ovaries to produce up to 30 eggs a month, which your body naturally will produce 1 or 2 max. And then they were surgically extracted. And then they were put on cycle after cycle of the same process over and over and over again. 3 of the women ended up escaping after 6 months of going through that whole grueling thing over and over again. And they revealed the horrifying operation. So now Thai and Georgian governments are working together to investigate. But the estimate is that there's still about 100 more trafficked women remaining captive inside the operation right now. So this is just crazy to me. And I can't believe it's not been in more headlines, to be honest. I just went through the egg retrieval process myself last week. And let me tell you, it's not a freaking cakewalk. It's honestly a really grueling process. Even though it was my choice to do it, I was irritable, I was bloated, I was sore, not to mention having to inject myself with needles multiple times a day for weeks. Now that the procedure's over, I still have a 2-week recovery period to ensure I don't end up with ovarian torsion or anything. But these poor women are still in this horrifying condition, having to go through this exact cycle every single month without it. Like no recovery period. They're not going to have any time off. They're getting used like freaking cattle. And this is just the one we know about. Imagine how many other operations like this probably exist that we've never even heard of because it's in a country that has very little oversight. So I just thought this was absolutely freaking insane.
The 97th Academy Awards just wrapped up, and there were some big wins. The movie Anora absolutely dominated the Oscars, taking home 5 awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Editing for Sean Baker. This indie film,
I've never heard of that. Yeah, Anora? I've never even heard of it.
I saw it while I was in Japan, actually, on a Netflix movie night with my boyfriend, and he pointed it out, and he was like, "This looks pretty good."
That's cool. Yeah, apparently they dominated the Oscars, so it must be a good movie.
And it's an indie film. It came out really strong. Yeah, so it proves that you don't need a massive Hollywood budget to sweep the Oscars.
Right. Exactly. Just has to be a really good story.
Yep. Leading female role, Mikey Madison won Best Actress on her role in Honora, making her the 9th youngest winner in history at age 25. Adrian Brody, on the other hand, took home Best Actor for The Brutalist, which is crazy because this is his second Oscar in this category after 22 years. He won his
Wow.
first in 2003 for The Pianist. So talk about a comeback.
Yeah. Same
And
category too. That's like his
Mhm.
area of expertise.
Yeah. And let's not forget Zoe Saldana. She won Best Supporting Actress for Emilia Perez, making history as the first American of Dominican origin to win an Oscar.
Ugh,
She's
I
been in
love.
so many big movies. Yes, absolutely. Avatar is one of my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Mhm.
Colombiana. There's so many good
Guardians
ones.
of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
the Best Supporting Actor category, Kieran Culkin. That's Macaulay Culkin's brother. He took home the award for Real Pain.
Okay.
A lot of people expected Robert Downey Jr. to win, but Kieran pulled it through.
Very cool. Good for him.
And here's a quick rundown of the rest of the big winners. Best Adapted Screenplay, Conclave. Best International Feature, I'm Still Here. Best Animated Feature, Flow. Best Documentary Feature, No Other Land. Best Costume Design, Wicked. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Paul Tazewell made history as the first Black man to win in this category. Congrats.
Oh, yes. Whoop, whoop.
Best Visual Effects, Dune Part 2. I haven't
That was
seen
like
that one either, but I heard it was really good.
years. Yeah. They
Yeah.
do incredible visual effects. The one and two, like that,
Yeah.
because, it's kind of long, but it's just worth just sitting there and taking in the scenery. Everything that they do is just, you really get immersed into that world. Really cool.
Overall, Anora led the night with 5 awards, followed by The Brutalist, Wicked, and Dune Part 2, which all won multiple Oscars. So what do you think? Did the right people win? Any snubs? And would you watch Anora after this? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, so this is crazy. Diddy's defense attorney is begging to be allowed to drop the case. Here's the background on this guy. He has been the defense attorney in tons of controversial cases, including the World Trade bombing conspiracy case and the embassy bombing case. He literally represented the Osama bin Laden in US versus Osama bin Laden.
Wow.
So yeah. So he has been a very controversial defense attorney, but after working with Diddy for the last few months, he submitted a notice to the federal courts specifically saying, quote, I can under no circumstances continue in this case. But can you imagine the stuff this guy who has represented some of the most heinous criminals in the world has seen or heard to make him desperate enough to want to drop this case?
I
It
would
has got
actually
to
not
be,
surprised. I mean, Diddy's crazy. He thinks he's
he's got,
God. I can only
yeah,
imagine.
this is like Harvey Weinstein on steroid. I mean, it's got to be so freaking bad. I don't even know if I will be able to stomach what comes to light in this when he finally goes to trial.
Elon Musk, the Tesla X and SpaceX guy, has reportedly welcomed his 14th child. That's right, 14.
Bro, stop.
Baby number 4 with Neuralink executive Siobhan Zillis. I believe that's his current girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. We just talked about Musk's ever-growing family tree last week. Back then, we counted 12 kids, possibly 13 if you include the rumors about the fling with Ashley St. Clair. With this latest addition, it's official. Elon Musk has won the great baby battle of our time against none other than Nick Cannon.
Yeah, Nick Cannon, you're running behind, bro.
Musk takes the crown with 14 kids, officially outbreeding Nick's 12 pack of Cannon Juniors. Now, 13 of Elon's children are confirmed, but that alleged child with Ashley St. Clair is just that, alleged. Or is it? So, according to People.com, Elon has just been ordered to appear in New York City's court over a custody dispute with Ashley St. Clair. Now, this is huge because for months, the internet has been speculating whether Musk had a secret child with Ashley. And while Elon never confirmed it publicly, this court order feels like it's confirmation.
Yeah, the court obviously sees something legit about it enough that they're ordering him to appear.
Oh,
So,
yeah. And Ashley's very confident.
yeah. I mean, it's not like completely unsubstantiated.
Yep. And she's not playing around. So not only is he busy running Tesla, SpaceX, and
The United
X,
States.
and possibly United States, we'll be sure to update you guys on the baby custody battle as it unfolds. And speaking of Musk's many kids, let's talk about Vivian Jenna Wilson, his 19-year-old daughter, who legally changed her name and cut ties with him back in 2022, shortly after the news broke. Vivian liked a post that read, "Want to know what it's like having Elon Musk as a dad? Ask any of his 14 children. Oh, wait, most of them don't talk to him." She didn't comment, but we all know a simple like is the new age version of throwing shade. Vivian made it clear a long time ago that she wants nothing to do with her dad, and this latest move just solidifies that decision. So what do we think? Is Elon just really committed to fatherhood, or is this all part of some bigger Musk master plan?
Yes.
And how messy is this custody battle about to get? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Oh, and at this rate, by next week, we might be reporting on Musk baby number 15. So stay tuned.
So speaking of Elon Musk and his, I'm just going to call it like I see it, his procreation fetish. Last week, Claire Grimes, the mother of 3 of his kids, Exadark and Technomechanicus, resorted to tweeting at Elon about their son's apparent medical crisis, saying, quote, "Please respond about our child's medical crisis. I am sorry to do this publicly, but it is no longer acceptable to ignore the situation. This requires immediate attention. If you don't want to talk to me, can you please designate or hire someone so that we can move forward on solving this? This is urgent, Elon." And then another user gave her flack for going public with it. So she responded, "I'm not giving any details, but he won't respond to texts, calls, or emails and has skipped every meeting, and our child will suffer lifelong impairment if he doesn't respond ASAP. So I need him to effing respond. And if I have to apply public pressure, then I guess that's where we're at." End quote. So we were just chatting last week about how I guess if you're going to have a dad who's never around, you might as well have a rich one, But apparently, teenagers can be deadbeat dads. So I guess the lesson I take from this is be careful who you have kids with, ladies. And
Yeah.
Elon, you need to stop giving us so much content, or this is going to turn into the Elon T podcast. It's got to be a fetish at this point. That's my speculation. There's no way you want to have that many kids and you are like, you're the richest man on the planet and you can't afford to take care of your kids. That's insane to me. So speaking of Elon, let's talk about his best friend. Trump gave the longest presidential address in 60 years last night, coming in at exactly 99 minutes. Out of those 99 minutes, the part that so many people were really shocked about was his claim that the government spent $8 million to make mice transgender. And we'll insert those can listen to the words from his mouth. So I'm not making this up.
$8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
And I did some digging because I thought there has to be some sort of truth to this. Like, there has to be some reason he said this. But it looks like what he was actually referencing is what scientists call transgenic mice. And this is something very different from transgender. It means they inject human genes or diseases into mice to test treatments for cures like Alzheimer's, immune disorders, cancer, stuff like that. And of course, the internet has followed up with tons of crazy memes and GIFs and everything about it. It's very entertaining. But to me, this is so wild. I don't know. If you guys have an alternate explanation for what prompted him to say this, besides the transgenic theory, I'm all ears because my mind is just blown. This is pretty funny.
Agreed.
Oh my God. This one is actually insane. So have you heard about this? The workers for Butterball were caught on video having sex with the turkeys. Wow. Okay. This happened while they were alive. And I mean, like, even after they're butchered, you would think the semen will still be in there, right?
Oh, goodness.
About that, like, I guess they probably aren't they supposed to
I just got sick.
bleach them before they package them? But this story is just so insane on so many freaking levels.
One guy humped a shackled turkey one day, and another time, another worker was putting his fingers in the turkey's cloaca, which is basically her vagina.
One thing I will caveat with is this. The video is recently making the rounds on social media and it's gotten viral, but because PETA just posted it to its page. But Butterball is claiming the video is an old one from 2006. So they're saying this is no longer the case. But I mean, I don't know how much better that would make it. But at least if you've eaten turkey anytime recently, maybe you don't have to worry about it so much. But this video is crazy. It also shows them treating the animals with like unimaginable cruelty, honestly, like beating them to death, like lots of really bad things that they're doing. And every time a story like this comes out, it just makes me want to go vegan or vegetarian or something. Like, never been a big meat eater anyways. And thank God I can't even remember the last time I made a turkey for a holiday meal. As a chef, I've always thought they're too tough, too dry. So I always spring for either a duck or the confit crispy chicken legs that I made for our Friendsgiving last year.
So good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's like my favorite recipe to do. And it's actually usually more economical than getting a turkey anyways, because you can get a big bag of frozen chicken legs for pretty cheap. So maybe after hearing this story, you'll want my recipe so you never have to eat turkey again around the holidays.
So imagine this. You order an Uber, but when it pulls up, there's no driver, just an empty seat waiting for you to hop in. Sounds like the future, right? Well, it's actually happening right now. Waymo, Google's self-driving car company, is now teaming up with Uber to roll out driverless rides. You can now call an Uber and a fully AI driver might show up instead of a regular car.
Yep.
No driver, no awkward small talk, just you and the AI car. Now, I actually remember hearing about Google's AI car back in the day, so I'm not too surprised. Google has been working on self-driving cars since 2009. So back then, their AI-powered cars were driving around for a few reasons. First, they were collecting data to map roads and train AI to recognize traffic signs, lanes, and pedestrians. And second, they wanted to prove that self-driving cars were possible and could actually drive better than humans by reducing accidents caused by human error. The goal was to innovate transportation, making ride-hauling services like Uber fully automated, reducing the need for personal car ownership. Now, fast forward to today, Waymo's self-driving cars have been driving tens of millions of miles. But here's where it gets really interesting. These cars have also been involved in over 100 accidents. However, Waymo claims that in almost all cases, human drivers were actually the ones at fault. That's pretty impressive. Now, these robo-rides are also available for Uber Eat deliveries. So your next meal might show up in a car that drove itself to your door. Now, these self-driving cars aren't just about automation. They're also fully electric and powered by 100% renewable energy. So besides eliminating human error, they're also helping reduce emissions. Imagine a future where every Uber is driverless and completely eco-friendly. That's exactly where Waymo is headed. At this point, AI doesn't even surprise me anymore. I'm just waiting for flying cars, honestly.
Right. That's so crazy.
And if you're curious and want to try it out, Waymo's self-driving Ubers are currently available in Phoenix, Arizona, Austin, Texas, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, California. If you're in one of those cities, your next Uber ride might be an AI chauffeur. And if you've ever taken a driverless Uber, let us know in the comments. I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, spill.
I have a concern, and of course, it's about humans.
Yes.
So what happens to all the people who depend on this job? AI has already replaced so many jobs for humans. I mean, we're seeing it in customer service, retail, warehouses, even writing and content creation. And now it's creeping into the rideshare industry. So what do you think? Would you trust a self-driving Uber, or do you think human drivers should stay on the road? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I think that's pretty much been the case for any new innovation too, though, is that it's always going to get people out of work. You know, refrigerators were invented, milkmen went out of work. Freezers were invented, the ice guy that delivered your giant cube of ice got put out of work.
Yeah.
So there's always innovation, but AI definitely has some ethical concerns, I think, that we'll have to address as we go and make sure we're using it ethically. It can be a great tool, but again, it can't replace the human touch. I feel like
Not completely.
we come back to every single episode too, is we talk about
Right.
Elon Musk and we talk about AI.
There's so much change coming. It's coming very, very soon.
It's like the internet, when like we were kids when the internet became a thing or at least became accessible, and it just revolutionized everything. Now we can't imagine a day without it. I see that as much the future for AI. I think people are just going to become very dependent on it like we are the internet. But again, it's a tool that can be used for evil and it can be used for good, just like the internet can be. The other thing I wanted to mention too is when I was in LA, they already had these little robots on wheels going down the sidewalks that were delivering Uber Eats for people.
Yeah. Like people on that road.
Like you would just be walking on the sidewalk and you would walk past this little robot. It's like a small one and it's on wheels. It's like, a little bit bigger than your Roomba.
Yeah, that reminds me of the waiter robots in Japan. And I've seen a couple here in the US as well. And it lights up and it plays music. It brings drinks to you.
Up, I guess, yeah, sure. If it takes a little bit of stress off the wait staff, but you can't really replace the human touch altogether. My mom and I went to a really nice Michelin star dinner in New York this past week after I did my egg retrieval. The staff was incredible. They were just telling you all the different details about each dish, what the wine pairing was. It was just the most incredible experience. When I went to the bathroom once, they literally folded my napkin for me and put it back in my seat for whenever I got back to my table. It was just this next level of service. And that's something I don't think you'll ever be able to really replace.
No. But when I was discussing the replacement of humans, it's not only going to be just Ubers. You're talking about limousine chauffeurs, delivery, truck drivers, all those jobs can be replaced by AI.
And then not to mention AI in general, like chatbots replacing almost everything. It's coding now. It can code for you.
Yeah.
It's one thing you would have thought would be secure for a very long time, because how many people do you know that know how to code? That is such a hard thing to learn.
Exactly.
And now you can have AI do it for you. That's just insane to me.
Yeah. My son uses it to build his games.
Yep. My little brother does too, to build his games. So, I mean, it's a really helpful tool. But yeah, there's definitely going to be pros and cons to it for sure. And we have to make sure when we approach it, we're approaching it in a really ethical way.
If you liked today's episode, tell your friends.
Subscribe and send us your juiciest stories. We just might feature them next time.
And hey, before you go, leave us a quick review. Your feedback helps us keep the tea hot and episodes coming. And remember,
spill the tea, not the wine.